Now we'll see if it wants to work. So homework 9 starts out with translating phrases into algebraic expressions. Wants us to do 18 less than twice Victor's savings. When you do 18 more or 18 less, that's going to go on the end of your expression instead of how we usually do it, which is just in the order we read it. So when I have that 18 less, I want to keep that in mind. It's going to go on the end. If it's 18 less than twice Victor's savings, we're going to start by doing the twice Victor's savings, which is 2v. 18 less than that means I'm going to take 18 away from that 2v. So 2v minus 18. As opposed to the second one says 74.9 decreased by 6 times a number. This one's just in the regular order. I'm starting with 74.9. I'm going to decrease it by something, so I'm going to subtract 6 times a number, so 6n. So 74.9 minus 6n. So on the third one, it says we want to do 9 more than the product of 19 and Chrissy's height. 9 more, again, is like that less than one. Technically, it should go on the end, but since we have the commutative property of addition, if you have this one in the wrong order, it's okay. But it's good to get practice to do it in the right order. So product means I'm multiplying. I'm going to multiply 19 times Chrissy's height, so that would be 19c. And then I'm going to do 9 more than that, so I'm going to add the 9. So 9 more than the product of 19 and Chrissy's height would be 19c plus 9. The next ones are just translating them into an equation, so instead of just doing the expression, we're now going to have an equal sign in there. The equal sign is usually your verb is, was, results in, something like that. The sum of 10 and Matt's height is 65. Sum means I'm going to add, right? So I'm going to take 10 plus Matt's height, which is m, is equals 65. So the word sum, we're adding. Number 5 there. The difference of Rick's height and 18 is 71. If I'm going to do the difference, it tells me I'm going to nope. Subtract. Difference is subtracting. Quotient is dividing. So if I'm finding the difference, I'm going to subtract just in the order I read it. So Rick's height R minus the 18. Notice the and is where that sign is going to go. People read and always think, oh, that's a plus. Well, and is where the sign goes. That's the difference sign. Is 71. So R minus 18 equals 71. The difference of Rick's height and 18. Number 6 says we're going to do 119 is the product of Craig's age and 7. So product is, nope, multiplication. Product is multiplying. So 119, I'm just going to do it right in the order I read it, is 119 equals, and if I'm going to show the product of Craig's age and 7, then I'm going to write it as 7c, exactly. Since I'm multiplying, I'm just putting the number right in front of the variable. So, sum is adding, difference is subtracting, product is multiplying, and quotient is dividing. Those are your main words of those things. Not that we can't use other things other than those words, but those are the usual ones. The next ones are some word problems that involve fractions. When I'm working with fractions, I'm taking the fraction times the total to equal the part. Usually it'll say half of something or 2/3 of something. Of means times in algebra. And so it says here the yearbook club had a meeting. The meeting had 24 people, which is 3/4 of the club. How many people are in the club? So you want to think about, is this 24 just the part, or is it the total number of people? Well, in this case, we want 3/4 of the club. The club is the total number of people. There are more people in the club than went to the meeting, right? Not everybody shows up, just like class. So 24 is our part. 3/4 is our fraction. So 3/4 times something is going to equal our 24, right? Now we know here that if I want to get this by itself, I need to get rid of the 3/4 and move it to the other side by doing the opposite. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. And if I divide by 3/4, what do I have to do? When we divide with fractions, what do we end up doing? Multiplying by the reciprocal, right? So I have to change this into 24 times 4/3. You'll see on Alex that they just flip it right away. They don't write the dividing in there. They just put times 4/3, and then people go, well, how come they're doing that? That's why they're doing that. Technically, we're dividing by 3/4, which is multiplying by the reciprocal. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 4, 32. So there are 32 people in the club, only 24 of them showed up for the meeting. Mary's on her way home in her car. Her drive is 27 miles long. She has finished 2/3 of the drive so far. How far has she driven? So, 2/3 is our fraction. Is that 27 miles the total length of her drive, or the part that she went so far? That's the total, right? The total's 27. We want to know the part that she's driven. So we want the smaller number. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and multiply because our 2/3 is right next to our 27. And so again, we can reduce. 3 goes into 27 9 times. 2 times 9 is 18. So she's gone 18 miles out of the 27-mile drive. Kevin needs to memorize words on a vocabulary list for Russian class. He has memorized 30 of the words, which is 5/6 of the list. How many words are on the list? So, think about what you should put down for your equation. Is that 30 the total number of words or just part of the words? Just part. So I'm going to say 5/6 of my total is the 30 that he's memorized so far. And so if I'm going to solve that, what should I do? I'm going to do what with my 5/6? I'm going to do the reciprocal of 5/6. I'm dividing by 5/6, which is multiplying by the time I get done by 6/5, right? 5 goes into 30 6 times, and 6 times 6 is 36. And we know we should end up with a bigger number. There's more words on the list than he has memorized so far, right? So if we do the wrong thing, hopefully we recognize, oh, I've got the wrong answer because I get a smaller number instead of a bigger number. Number 10, these are those ones where we're going to have two variables and two equations. Anytime you have two variables, you have to have two equations in order to solve the problem. It says a washer and a dryer cost $804 combined. So my washer plus my dryer is $804 altogether if I add the price of the two of them. The washer costs $96 less than the dryer. Whichever item is mentioned first, that variable is going to be by itself. The washer costs. W equals. Then I got to translate $96 less than the dryer. We just did those ones at the beginning, and if we said that it had a more than or a less than, that has to go on the end of your expression, right? So $96 less than the dryer means I'm going to do D minus 96. I'm going to take the price of the dryer and subtract 96 from it. Not 96 minus the price of the dryer, because I'd be in the hole then. So these ones we're going to solve by substitution. This is solved for W, so we're going to replace the W over here with whatever it says over here. In this case, D minus 96. I'm then going to be able to combine some variables there, because I have a D plus another D. So 2D minus 96 is going to equal our 804. Now we should have something that looks really familiar. We should hopefully know how to solve these. If I want to solve this for D, I should do what first? We'll get to dividing. But we got to move that number over, right? This is minus 96. I have to add the 96. So 2D is going to equal 900. Then I'm going to divide by 2, and D is going to equal 450. Now you have to be careful on these ones and pay attention to what they ask for. Just because I got an answer here doesn't mean that's the answer to the question. What is the cost of the dryer? Yep, that's what I was looking for, was the dryer, so I'm done. But they could have asked me for the price of the washer, in which case I would have had to subtract $96 from that answer to find the washer's price. So on these ones, they're only going to look for one of the answers, where when we get to the system of equations, they make you put both the answers in. I wish they'd make you do both of them, because otherwise half the time you forget to look and you write the wrong one down after you did all their work. Number 11, it says, a total of 584 tickets were sold for the school play. They were either adult tickets or student tickets. So if I'm doing a total again, it means I'm going to, when you find the total, you do what? Amy, what do you do when you find the total? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I said find the total. Add. Exactly. That's what I do. So I'm going to add. My adult tickets plus my student tickets is 584 total tickets, right? The number of student tickets sold was 3 times the number of adult tickets sold. So whichever one's mentioned first, in this case the student tickets, is going to be equal to the other part of my equation. The number of student tickets sold was 3 times the adult tickets. How do I show 3 times the adult tickets? 3A. So I've got my 2 equations. I'm going to solve by substitution. I'm going to replace the S with 3A. And then I'm going to combine any like terms I have over there on that left-hand side. Well, I have an A plus a 3A, which gives me 4A to equal my 584. And to solve that, I'm going to divide by 4. I'm going to let you divide that for me. 146? 146 adult tickets. And the question does say how many adult tickets were sold, so that is the answer I want. Had they asked me for the student tickets, I would have had to multiply that by 3. So number 12 says Pamela is 11 years older than Amy. The sum of their ages is 103. What is Amy's age? So if I'm going to translate Pamela is 11 years older than Amy, how should I write that down? I'm going to add, and I'm going to start with what should we use for Pamela? P sounds good to me. P is would be Pamela is. What do we use for is? Is, was, results in.
Divide.
No? Equals. P equals. Pamela is. P is equal to something. Now I'll get to the part where I'll have to add. 11 years older than Amy. How am I going to show 11 years older than Amy?
A plus 11.
A plus 11. There we go. So P equals A plus 11. Now my other equation says the sum of their ages is 103. How am I going to show the sum of their ages is 103?
P plus 8 equals 103.
Exactly. Sum means I'm adding Pamela and Amy's age to get 103. So again, I'm going to solve this by substitution. Which variable should I substitute in for?
P.
The P, because this one says P equals something, so over here I'm going to get rid of the P, and I'm going to replace it with the A plus 11. So combining my like terms, I'm going to get what? 2A plus 11 equals 103. And if I'm going to solve that for A, the first thing I should do is subtract the 11. So 2A is going to equal, what's 103 minus 11? 92? 92, and then I'm going to divide by 2, and 92 divided by 2 is 46. 46. So Amy is 46. And again, this one did ask what is Amy's age, so we found the one that we want. If I would have wanted to find Pamela's age, I would have had to add 11 to my 46. So just keep in mind, here when you're translating these ones that aren't sums, that whatever one's mentioned first is going to be equal to the other side. So here they said the student tickets. Student tickets was 3 times the adult tickets. Pamela is 11 years older than Amy. And then we got some word problems that involve decimals. Reuben rented a truck for one day. There was a base fee of $16.95. There was an additional charge of 81 cents for each mile driven. Reuben had to pay $139.26 when he returned the truck. For how many miles did he drive the truck? So here the question's asking how many miles did he drive the truck. I'm going to use M for my number of miles. Tells me what variable I might want to use. And also tells me when it mentions the number of miles, that's probably where I'm going to have to throw my variable in. I'm going to rent a truck. My base fee is $16.95. I have to pay that whether I drive it 10 miles or 9,000 miles. $16.95. There was an additional charge. Tells me I'm going to add. My additional charge is 81 cents for each mile driven. So I'm taking 81 cents times the number of miles I drive. Be careful here when you write 81 cents down because this is in dollars. How do I have to write the 81 cents? 0.81, right. So 81 cents per mile driven is 0.81 M. When he returned the truck, he ended up paying a total of $139.26. So my equation, $16.95 plus 0.81 M equals $139.26. If I'm going to solve that for M, the first thing I should do is
Subtract 16.
exactly subtract my $16.95. I'm going to let you do that for me.
122.31.
A little louder.
122.31.
$122.31. And then to solve that for M, I'm going to
81 cents.
divide by my 81 cents. How many miles did he drive the truck? It's 151. So 151 miles. Number 14 says, Caitlin purchased a prepaid phone card for $25. Long distance phone calls cost 7 cents a minute using this card. Caitlin used her card only once to make long distance calls. If the remaining credit on her card was $22.97, how many minutes did her call last? So she started out with her phone card, and on her phone card she had how much money? $25. She is going to use her phone card, so what's going to happen with the money on her phone card? She's going to use it up, so we're going to subtract money off of it, right? Long distance calls cost me 7 cents a minute using this card. So we're going to subtract off, what? 0.07. And what should I have behind my 0.07? Since it's 7 cents a minute, my minutes, my M, or whatever variable you want to use. So 7 cents per minute means I'm going to take 7 cents times every minute she talked on the phone and subtract it off her $25. After she made her phone call, she had $22.97 left on her card. So 25 minus 0.07 M equals $22.97. If I want to solve that for M, what might I want to do first?
Subtract 25.
Subtract my 25. So if I subtract my 25, I'm going to have negative 0.07 M equals, and $22.97 minus 25 would give me negative $2 and how many cents? 3? 2.03. And then if I want to solve that for M, I'm going to divide by my negative 0.07. And since I have a negative divided by a negative, I'm going to end up with a positive answer, which we know it has to be. How many minutes did she talk on the phone? 29? 29 minutes. And the last one, for his long distance phone service, Chow pays a $6 monthly fee plus 8 cents per minute. Last month, Chow's long distance bill was $19.44. For how many minutes was Chow billed? So think about what you want to write down for your equation. What should I have there? What might my equation be there?
6 plus 0.08 M
6 plus 0.08 m equals 19.44, exactly. He had a $6 fee he has to pay right away, plus 8 cents per minute. Total bill was 19.44. So in order to solve that, the first thing I should do is subtract the 6. So 0.08 m is going to equal 13.44. I subtract 6 from 19.44, and then I'm going to divide by my 0.08. And the calculator will be active on these ones, so you can use your calculator. If you take 13.44 divided by 0.08, 168. 168. Taking your word for it, I'm not doing it in my head. All right, so I didn't put too many on this page because most people have trouble with word problems. So look on your pie chart, see if you do have some of these word problems to practice on. Do those while you're here. You can get help with them if you're stuck on those kind of things. Otherwise, we'll keep working on our pie chart till about 9:45, and then we'll do the next page.